We've got our first guest here, Mr. Richard Greening, the Global Technical Director at DDC FPO. Apologies for that. Richard, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Andrew. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys just did some research on the impact of Brexit and what the impact is on the global supply chain. Can you tell me a little bit about the findings?
Yeah, sure. So we did the research back in mid-February to late March, and obviously because Brexit came into effect 1st of January. So we really wanted to see what the effects are after kind of the bedding in period or during the bedding in period. The best thing about the research we did is we didn't want to limit it to one area. So we're doing a lot of support now across the whole of the logistics supply chain. And we're really realizing, well, we've always known it, but I think everyone knows it, and this research really kind of hit it home, is how symbiont everything is. And when we've been feeding some back of this research to some of the different industries that we work with, they don't necessarily always realize how, if you're a freight forwarder or a haulier, how really you're impacted by manufacturing and retail and e-commerce. Everything is symbiont, and I think we saw that in the results that we got. So the research we did, we spoke to hauliers, we spoke to freight forwarders, customs brokers, 3PLs, retail, e-com, manufacturers, warehousing, distribution, etc. And what we were really seeing is all of the pain points everyone was having. They were all having the same pain points, and they're in the same pain points with each other. So Brexit did lead to great disruption. I don't think it was quite as bad as everyone thought it would be day one. I think they did what they could do to ease the pain on the 1st of January, but there are still some teething issues there.
Yeah, Richard, that sounds like robust research. Sounds like you guys spoke to a lot of parties there. It's not funny, but it's just ironic that everybody's dealing with the same pain points, and hopefully we can work more collaboratively in the future to eliminate some of those pain points. We know DDC's reputation for freight billing, and last month I spoke to Chad here on Great Quarter Guys about you guys' IT services, but you have just launched and you're really ramping up your customs brokerage related work. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. It's similar to the IT stuff. So what we were saying with the IT things, as Chad said, we see the same pain points across all of our clients and across the different sectors we work in. It's the same point with customs brokerage. We started with customs brokerage probably 4 or 5 years ago properly in the build up to Brexit, and it started with 1 or 2 very big clients that understood the seriousness of what needed to be done in the next couple of years to get there. And I think the reason they chose us is they knew it wasn't going to be smooth sailing. There was going to be some pain points. There was going to be a lot of changes in trying to figure out what was right, and therefore they made the decision to work with an outsourced partner like ourselves because it gives them the flexibility to scale up and scale down and be flexible and make changes when they need to do it. So we kind of built the model with them, and then we've now applied that across the board. So we offer it from small businesses and up. So and you say it doesn't matter if you're you were saying earlier, like the FedExes and the UPSs of the world, or if you're a small business, you all have similar challenges.
So, Richard, curious on my end, how does that overlap with situations like Brexit or other major distributions in trade?
So I think the answer there, Anthony, is the disruption, right? So be it if it's Amazon being a disruptor or having Prime Day like what we've got going on this week, any kind of disruption creates ripples. It's like dropping a stone into a lake. So it creates those ripples of highs and lows. And I think the key for anyone is to try and maximize. It sounds almost cliche, maximize the highs and try and minimize the lows. And so I think everyone's doing that. But I think things like Brexit, I think things like COVID, I think if you look for the good points in what's been happening in the last 12 months, really is that with great disruption, there is change. So you look for opportunity in that. And if you're not having those successes, you should be rethinking your strategy. I think what we're certainly seeing this year is a lot of our clients are making more decisions. We've had conversations with some clients over many months and it may possibly even years sometimes. And what we found certainly this year is people now know they've got to have courage in their conviction and invest and make changes.
Richard, only got a couple minutes here. Tell me about this. We got a big milestone for Brexit next month, right, in July. How's that going to impact DDC and your clients?
So there's a couple. I'll quickly cover them off for you. So when Brexit started in January, to ease the burden to ensure goods continue to move across the borders into the UK and out of the UK, they basically did something where customs could move or import controlled and non-controlled goods from the EU without making an entry summary. But it was only delayed by 175 days. So we're now coming up on that threshold now with the 1st of July. So what we're about to see is a huge backlog of people that have to start fully declaring their goods to HMRC, which is the UK government body. So we're going to see a great demand in backlog of paperwork that needs to be put in. But the other big impact that's coming, and the real change, I guess, to the market, which is a bit more interest to you guys, is the change in it's the VAT reform. And the two big changes there really is at the moment you can move goods into the UK with small value, so anything under 22 euros moves without any kind of VAT on the charges. That's changing. Everything moving forward is now going to be VATable, and in order to enforce that, it's being put back onto the online marketplaces. So from the 1st of July, all of the big online retailers and marketplaces are going to have to be responsible for determining the value of the goods and charging the VAT to the consumer and collecting that VAT when they make the payment. So that's made a lot of the big e-com guys have to rethink their strategy and invest heavier into supply chain.
Yeah, watch a lot of big changes going on over there in the UK and in Europe in general. Thank you, Mr. Greening, so much for taking your time.
No, thank you so much for the offer.
Yeah, we'll be seeing more of you soon.